And welcome to Grandad's Reviews. Today I thought we'd have a look at field monitors for your mirrorless camera. A cheap version versus a dear version. And is there a big difference? Does it make a difference to actually purchase a expensive field monitor against a cheap one? So today we're having a look at the difference between Feelworld 5" and the Shinobi, and is there a big difference? And I'm going to do this in two parts. I'm going to do build quality and the actual physical and user interface differences first, and then we'll actually go out and see, does a field monitor actually make any difference to you in general use? Is it useful to you? Will the features and everything else in that monitor actually help you to take your video, or is it just a bigger screen to look at? So let's have a look at the build quality for a start. So if we look at the Feelworld monitor, we can see it's just an ordinary plastic, nothing special. It takes the MP Sony batteries. The model I've got here, the F5, actually came with this arm for mounting, which is very good. And on the top, buttons for controlling it. Got two customizable function buttons, navigation buttons, menu off, more navigation buttons. But what we have got on the cheaper version, which we haven't got on the dearer version, we have actually got HDMI in and out, and a DC in, so we can actually power the monitor on the mains with a supplied power. And if we look underneath, we have a DC out, so it can actually power your camera. Headphone jack, and a port for doing upgrades and such like. If we go to the dearer, I've got the Shinobi here. Build quality is far superior. It's still plastic, but it just feels more substantial. It's got a mounting point on the top and a mounting point at the bottom, but it didn't come with a bracket, which was obviously you've got to find your own bracket. Uses the MP batteries, same as the Feelworld one, and it comes with an adapter so that you can actually power it from the mains, same as. On the side we've got just one in, there's no out. Headphone socket. On the other side we've got a remote socket, that's you can plug in an adapter so you can actually calibrate the monitor. And we've got an SD slot, which is just for putting either firmware upgrades or LUTs onto the actual unit. But other than that, and a power button on the back, nothing else. So in those respects, the cheaper one has got more ports, and in this situation I've actually got HDMI in and then coming out to the Shinobi as well. So in that sense, yes, the build quality is a bit cheaper, but we have some more ports. Also, with the Feelworld, it actually comes with a supplied sun hood shade, which I haven't got on at the moment, whereas again the Shinobi does not. So in some things the cheaper one wins, but in others it doesn't. Now the main thing that we're worried about or interested in is the screen quality. And if I step back, you can probably see that on the Feelworld one, the reflections are horrendous. It's like a mirror. I can see the car across there. Look at the same thing, just spot the car, but not anywhere near as bad as that one. If I spin round, you can see the windows of the house across there. Can't actually see the image that it's supplying. And if we look straight at it, the image is a lot more blown out and nowhere near the detail of the Shinobi. Now, as regarding the interface, this is where the biggest difference between these two is. If you need to adjust anything on the Feelworld one, I've got 2 function buttons set up, but that's the maximum you can have. If you need to change anything else, like if I want the histogram up, say, we've got to go into the menu, scroll along, and go down, and go along, histogram, on or off. Then on the Shinobi, on the histogram, bang, histogram. So the touch interface on the Shinobi is amazing. So easy to use. As well as some of the actual features on the Feelworld that are similar, you've got false colours, but again that shadow, terrible. False colours on, yeah, so they're the same. You can easily do that. We've also got peaking. If we go into, so to get peaking, I've got to go into the menus again. Focus assist. So now we've got peaking on, and as you can see, I've got a red on there. I'm peaking on the Shinobi. Bang. Easy as that. So yes, massive difference. Now when I switch peaking off on here, I've got to go into there, across to there, down through the menus, going off. So easy use, Shinobi wins. Quality of the screen, Shinobi wins. So I think if you just want a simple monitor, a bigger screen to look at, then I think the Feelworld works. But it's just the shininess of that screen. I won't go through all the interface settings on the actual Shinobi because there's quite a lot of good YouTube videos out there showing how it works. But so much easier to use with that touchscreen. If you want to do any settings, so on the Shinobi we can bring up waveform. We can make that waveform bigger, and we can adjust the position of that waveform. I want to check the exposure on the Feelworld. I mean, look at that reflection. That's all we've got, is just the histogram. See if it ties up with the histogram. We've got both histograms up. Yeah, they do move. So as I say, if you just want a monitor for a bigger screen, yeah, the Feelworld does the job. Ease of use and quality of the screen, yeah, the Shinobi is definitely worth it. Alright, so that's a quick look at the difference between the build quality and the user interface on a cheap Feelworld or the dearest Shinobi. As a monitor just to view a bigger screen, then they both do exactly the same thing. The Feelworld you do get a few extra bits for it. The mounting bracket, you get a HDMI in and out, you can power your camera from it, so in those senses it is more useful. But as for the user interface, then Shinobi wins hands down. So much easier to use, so many more options that you can get to straight away. The Feelworld I think would be a lot better if it just had 2 more function buttons, just so you can add some extra things in. But apart from that, no, it's excellent. So in part 2 we'll see how having a field monitor can help you out in the field, because that's what it's designed for. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more videos, hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified, hit that bell button. Until next time, see you later.